All right. So unit 2 is going to be talking about debt securities. So overall, when you think about debt securities, it's going to be something that's going to be backed up in a certain way. And with that in mind, it's going to have a lower return. So if the company goes bankrupt, they're going to have a way to get themselves paid back for the money they invested. Okay. So it's backed up by something. Okay, but overall, that's the pretty much the summary of what is a debt security. Okay,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
do you guys see cashback? Yeah, do you guys do cashback? Yeah. How up to? It just has to be with the. Oh no. 40? Yeah. Okay.
All right, perfect. So this right here is the basics of bonds. All right, so there's different issuers. It could be corporate, could be federal, could be government, municipal governments. Okay, and the par value, it's always going to be expressed as $1,000. So par value is always going to start at $1,000. If it's above a certain amount, you're going to learn later in the book is that it's sold at a premium. If it's less than $1,000, it's going to be sold at a discount. Okay. Now this right here talks about the different types of maturities. So the first one here is going to be a term bond. So now a term bond, second. So a term bond is structured so that the principal, the whole issue, matures at once. Okay, because the entire principal is repaid at one time, issuers may establish a sinking fund account to accumulate money to retire the bond at maturity. So the way you want to think about it is kind of like life insurance term. Okay, so if that happens to that person, they're going to receive a death benefit. That's the way you want to picture it. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, and then serial bond schedules portions of the principal to mature at intervals over a period of years until the entire balance has been repaid. So all this means here is that let's say that we have a bond for 20 years. It's going to give us payments every month until that bond is finally repaid with all that principal and interest. Now, right here with the balloon bond, it's going to have a mixture of serial and term maturities. Okay. All that means here is that it's going to have a certain payments where it's going to be, let's say, $100 each month. And then 1 month, it's going to be $1,000 or $2,000, but pretty much it's going to be a giant lump sum. That's why it's called a balloon. It's a big payment at the end. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So here we have coupons and accrued interest. So overall, the term coupons and accrued interest, this refers to bonds. So when bonds were first issued, they'll pretty much have it in paper form, and then you rip off one part of it and you'll keep the coupon. So the coupon will tell you what's the yield for that bond, X, Y, and Z. And that's where that notion of coupon comes from. Okay, so the coupon represents the interest rate that the issuer has agreed to pay the investor. Okay, so that could be 2%, 5%. They're going to pay back that investor. Okay, let's skip that part. I mentioned that. So as far as terms, the coupon rate can be also called the stated yield or nominal yield. These right here, they have the same definition and they're used interchangeably on the exam. Okay, so when in doubt, whenever you see these, don't get confused. They mean exactly the same thing. Okay, let's keep going. Let me get this up here. Okay, let's keep going. All right, cool. All right, now here talks about par value is also known as a face value of a bond. That could be $1,000 per bond. Okay. So right here it says a bond with a 6% coupon is paying $60 in interest per year. Okay. Par value is $60. Now, the reason why they say this right here, this part here, is because when it comes to bonds, they're going to be issued out semi-annually for the interest. So that's why they're going to break it apart into two parts. Okay. Now, accrued interest. Okay, if the bond trades between coupon payments, the buyer must pay the seller the amount of interest earned to date of the time of settlement. This means the new owner gets paid the full coupon from the issuer in the next payment cycle. So pretty much, they're not really going to see that payment that quarter. It's not. It'll be into the next payment when they fully own it. That's all that means here. Any questions? Okay, now here it talks about pricing. If a bond is traded in the secondary market at a premium, so that means, let's go right here. So right here, if it's at $1,200, that right here is it's going to be selling at a premium. It's over $1,000. Okay, it's called over par premium. Okay, and if it's at $800, it's at a discount. We bought at a discount less than $1,000. And then bond pricing is measured in points. So they can interchange the term par and then points for the exam, okay? Now, 1% of face value is the same as $10. So a bond trading at 90 is worth $900. So all you gotta do is literally times that 90 times this right here, or you can add a 0 too. Okay, while a bond trading at 103 is worth 1,030. So whatever they give you here, like if it's 10 or 103, just add an extra 0. That's it. Okay, so let's close out. So now right here talks about what can affect the price of bonds. Okay, now overall, the main things that affect the price of bonds is gonna be supply and demand. That is the main thing that affects bonds. Okay. Now remember, these right here, they're debt instruments. So they're gonna be very sensitive to changes in the market interest rates. Okay, so right now, what's going on with the interest rate right now with the Feds?
Going up.
Yep. So it's going up. So that means that is going to affect bonds. Okay, later on when you're reading the book, if the Feds raise up the interest rate, you're going to find out if bonds are going to go up or down. But more than likely, bonds, they have an inverse relationship with interest rates and that kind of stuff. Okay. Here it is. That bond prices will rise and fall if interest rates fluctuate. Bond prices have an inverse relationship to interest rates. So this right here, it's very, very important that you guys understand this for the exam, is that bonds are going to have an inverse relationship to interest rates. So if interest rates are going up with the Feds, then your bond, it's going to go down. Okay? If interest rates go up, bond prices for those trading in the secondary market will go down. Okay, let's keep going.
So would you say that right now would be a good time to get a bond?
You could.
You're getting it at the discount, right?
You can probably buy one right now at a discount. Okay. If interest rates in the marketplace were at 6%, wouldn't it currently paying 8% trading in the secondary market look more attractive? So pretty much right here, what it's talking about is that people are going to be looking what pays in the most. Okay. Let's keep going. Now for yields, I'm not really going to go over these definitions here, but you're going to have to memorize these definitions. And then once you memorize it, the one thing that's going to help you for the exam is going to be this chart. Okay. So this chart right here, it is going to help you, like literally 20% of the exam is going to save your butt. So you got to memorize this chart. And then when you get into your exam, they give you a little piece of paper for scratch paper. When you get in there, take like 5-10 minutes to write whatever you memorize prior to entering the exam. If it could be the coupon one, it can be options, whatever you want to put on that paper, put on that paper. You're allowed to do that. It's your paper. Okay. Plus, it's going to help you save a lot of time too. All right, so now let's answer this question here. All right, perfect. Let me get my pen. All right, your customer calls you with a question. The customer tells you that they received a phone call from the bond desk telling the customer that a trade to purchase 20 bonds at 100 has been executed for the customer account. The customer would like to know how much they paid for the bond before any commission or other charges. The answer to the question is, so they bought 20 bonds, right? Times 100.
D.
Okay.
D.
D as a
D?
dog. Yeah.
You sure it's D?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
You're not gonna, is it, has 100 points?
No, it's 1,000.
It's 1,000. You times it by 10.
Okay, cool. So the 1,000, perfect. So now it should be 2, and then let's add the 4 zeros, right?
And the comma.
So 20,000. There you go. All right, a 6% corporate bond trading on a 7% basis is trading
A.
Discount.
discount.
Yes. Inverse
Yep.
relationship.
You sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
6% corporate bond trading on a 7% basis is trading.
At a discount. Yeah, because it goes up, the other one goes down.
So discount.
Yeah.
Discount. Yes.
All right, perfect. This one, let me go down a little bit more. Let me clear this out. All right, a B rated 6% corporate callable bond that matures in 12 years that is trading at a 100.25 is priced at a. So this right here involves a bit more math.
B.
It would be.
You think it's B premium?
Yes.
Yeah, it's selling above 100.
All right, perfect. So 1 is D, cool. 2 is A, discount, and then 3 is B. Good. Okay. All right, so now the one you guys got wrong was, you guys said premium or discount?
It's a B.
Premium.
You said premium.
All right, cool. All right. So right here we have the different bond ratings and features. So I'll be honest.
Hey, Oscar, real quick. Are we supposed to go be doing a chapter a night?
Yep.
Okay. All right, for sure.
All right. So right here we have the different ratings. So I'll be honest, I didn't really memorize this stuff right here. I didn't really think it was that relevant on the exam. I did see a few questions about this, but I wouldn't say memorize this stuff. I think it's a little bit irrelevant, I'll be honest. Okay, but
Oscar.
yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. So are these bonds like somehow tied into like bail bonds and stuff like that or not?
Bail bonds as in jail? No.
Yeah, oh, okay. All right, never mind.
That's about like bounty hunters and whatnot. It's different.
Nah, for real. All right, cool.
All right, so memorize the investment grade debt, high yield bonds, non-rated. All right, so volatility is an important concept that you have to understand. So overall volatility means is how easily can that item go up or down in value. That's all that means. Okay. So it's in inverse direction to interest rates. So the Fed rate. All right. So the bond sensitivity to those movements is called volatility. The more a bond moves in a response to a change in interest rates, it is said to be more volatile. The less it moves, the less volatility it has. So on top of your heads, name something that is very, very volatile, that goes up and down drastically.
Common stock.
There you go. Common stock go up and down exactly. Now bonds are considered less volatile because they're relatively about the same pricing, give or take. All right. Perfect. Let's keep going. Now, this here talks about the different features of a bond. Now, the first one here is going to be a call feature. So a call feature is going to be a benefit. It's going to be a benefit that benefits the issuer. Okay, so it's going to benefit the issuer. It's going to allow them to replace a higher paying bond, let's say from 6% to 4%. Okay, so they're going to tell the client, they're going to tell the investor, hey, we're going to replace your current high paying bond to something lower because we ain't going to fucking pay. Nope, we ain't going to pay. So they're going to give them that 4% because why would I keep on paying 6% if I can give them 4%, right? And then right here we have put feature. So now put feature is a benefit that benefits the investor. It allows them to do the inverse. If they currently have a 4% and the current bond rate is 6%, they're gonna push the issuer to give them that 6%. So that way they can get more money. Now, convertible feature, it literally means what it says here. It's going to be convertible. You're going to be able to convert that bond to a certain amount of common stock. Common stock, which is going to give you a form of ownership in that particular company, plus capital appreciation, etc. All right, perfect. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Now we're going to skip this quiz here. All right, so here we're talking about zeros and types of corporate debt. So right here, let's get my pen. So zero coupon bonds are an issuer's debt obligation that do not make regular interest payments. Instead, zeros are issued or sold at a deep discount to their face value and mature at par. The difference between the discounted purchase price and the full face value at maturity is the return. Okay, so zero coupon bonds, all that means here is that they're not going to give regular interest payments each month, every quarter. They're going to give a payment at maturity. Okay, does that make sense? Good. Let's keep going. What's this here? Oh, it says C. Okay, a little bit there. All right, so now we're at corporate bonds. So right here it talks about corporate bonds and how they can be either secured or unsecured. Okay, so overall, what do you think secure means? What does that mean?
Guaranteed.
Yep, it's guaranteed slash backed up by something. It could be real estate, it could be security and investments. It's backed up by something. Now, unsecured, what is that?
Like common stock.
No, that's secured.
Um,
We're gonna be using common stock as collateral to get a loan.
It means it's not backed up by anything.
Exactly, it's not backed up by anything. So it's only backed up by your word saying that you're gonna pay back. Okay. Let's keep going. Here, right here gives the definition of secured, unsecured. Now here it talks about mortgage bonds. So in gist of it, mortgage bond is gonna be backed by what? Just think but just we're looking at the word mortgage.
mortgage.
Yep, so it's gonna be backed up by an asset, property, real estate. As collateral for that loan. Okay. Let's keep going. All right, so here it talks about equipment trust certificates. So right here with the equipment trust certificates, let's say that you work at BNF. Okay, and you're like, what's BNF? BNF is a railroad company. Okay, so pretty much, let's say they go to the bank, and the bank is like, all right, cool, we're gonna buy your equipment, and the bank is gonna own the lease of your current engines. Okay, so if you fail to pay back your bills, they're gonna literally repossess those vehicles to get back their money. Okay, so that's all what equipment trust means. It is going to be backed up by equipment. If you fail to make your payment, they're going to repossess that equipment to get their money back. Okay, any questions?
No.
All right, now here we have collateral trust bonds. So collateral trust bonds, it is literally going to be backed by securities. So stocks, bonds, that kind of stuff. And now why do you think as an investor, they want to do that instead? Why do you think?
It's more safe.
For liquidity.
Exactly, liquidity. That's the main reason why they're doing that. Not only that is, why the hell am I gonna cash out, let's say $30,000 of my investments? Because the moment I sell them, I lose out on the appreciation. Plus, not only that, I'm gonna have to pay capital gains on that investment. Okay, for loans, do you pay taxes on debt?
No.
No, exactly. So that's why they're doing that. Okay, so now let's keep going here. It's like this right here is for investments. If I want to take loan, I can use my investments as collateral. So I don't want to cash out my investments. You see, and here we have unsecured debt. All right, so here it talks about debentures. So let me give it a little pen here. All right, so a debenture is a debt obligation of the corporation backed only by its word and general credit worthiness. Okay, debentures are written promises of the corporation that they're going to pay back that principal on its due date and interest on a regular basis. Okay, and they're not secured by any pledge of property. Okay, now a good example of this we're here would be the federal government, bonds, treasury securities, that kind of stuff. They're backed by the good faith and credit of the US government and their ability to tax. All right, so here we have guaranteed bonds. So guaranteed bonds are backed by a company other than the issuing corporation such as a parent company. Okay, so a great example of that is going to be Precision Castparts. Okay, so Precision Castparts are a big manufacturing company all over the United States, and they have different manufacturing companies throughout the states, but they're all partners of Precision Castparts because they own these different small companies. So one is called CFW, Shell Steel, etc. XYZ. So let's say that we take a loan with CFW takes a loan. They have no real estate, none of that to back up their loan, so they're going to use the good credit reputation of Precision Castparts to have them actually secure that loan in place. So they fail to pay, then they go after Precision Castparts to pay off that loan. Does that make sense? Okay. But overall, if you guys can like break it down in simple terms, you'll definitely pass it. So if you guys notice, the way I pass the exam is that I base it off conceptual. All right. So right here we have income bonds. So income bonds are also known as adjustment bonds, are used when a company is reorganizing and coming out of bankruptcy. Income bonds pay interest only if the corporation has enough income to meet interest debt obligations and if the board of directors declares they can make those payments. So right here with income bonds, if you meet a client and they're looking for like income every quarter, every month, this right here will not be the right investment for them. And then why is that? Why wouldn't it be the right investment for them?
Because they're just coming out of bankruptcy.
Exactly. So are they guaranteed that income every quarter?
No.
No, right? So that's why it's not good for them. Okay. Now here talks about subordinate debt. So by just looking at the word subordinate, what does that mean?
Below debt.
Exactly. It's secondary, like a substitute, right? Secondary. Now this right here is going to have a play when it comes to the liquidation, the bankruptcy steps. Okay. So it belongs to a lower class. It's usually used in describing a type of debenture. Oh shoot. I thought I gave this person the link. Oops. Let me give it her. All right, perfect. All right, but however, no matter how subordinate the debenture is still senior to any stockholder. Okay, because overall, the order for bankruptcy is gonna be first, it's gonna be like creditors, such as the government, and then from there, it's gonna be the debentures, and then from here, it's gonna be subordinate debt. Okay, and after that, it's gonna be preferred, and then common stock, etc. Okay. And it's over here, the order of liquidation. All right, so right here is the order of liquidation. So more than likely, this right here will be on the exam. Okay. Let me get my little pen. There it is. All right, so here it is. So first, it's going to be secured debt holders are first. They are paid from the proceeds of the sale of the assets that are secured the debt. So what is considered an asset?
Things you own.
Yep, things you own. It could be real estate. It could be machinery, whatever it is. If the assets are insufficient to pay what is owed, any additional amount is paid at the general creditor level. Unsecured debt and general creditors are second. All right, so right here is very, very important. So at this level, wages and taxes are going to be paid off. Okay, after that, it's going to be subordinate debt, preferred stock, common stock is last. So then more than likely, these guys here are never going to get paid back. Okay, they just got to report as a loss in the taxes. Perfect. And you can definitely see questions about the order of liquidation. Okay. So this here talks about the benefits of debt securities. The first one here is going to be income. It's going to give them income pretty much each month. It's going to be safety. Overall, they're relatively safe. They're going to be at the same value where they were in the past. And it's not going to go that down. Now, this right here are the risks of owning debt securities. So default right here means is that what if they're not able to keep on providing those payments every quarter, every month, because that company stopped paying. So that's the main risk here is that the income can stop coming in. Now, interest rate risk is that pretty much debt securities, bonds are going to be relatively inverse relationship to the rates. So if it goes up, it could go down. Okay, and then here it talks about purchasing power risk. So inflation. So it's not really going to keep up with inflation each year, each month. Okay, I'm going to skip that quiz. All right, so overall, municipal bonds are very, very simple to understand. The two types of bonds that you're gonna have are going to be revenue bonds, and the other one is gonna be general I think it's called general. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, general obligation bond. General obligation bond. Okay, so one of these right here is going to require voter approval for funding. The other one is based off literally revenue. It's like toll booths and that kind of stuff. Let's keep going down. And I'll tell you right now, me personally, I love municipal bonds. They give you more income compared to money market accounts because they're a bit more volatile in the market. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so right here with general obligation bonds, let's go here. Issue for capital improvements that benefit the entire community. So what does that mean? What kind of improvements are those?
Schools.
That could be schools, yeah, it could be schools. What else?
Roads.
Roads.
There you go, roads. All right, roads. Here it is. Typically, these projects do not produce revenue, so principal and interest are paid by taxes. So they're backed up by the power to tax. Okay, because they're backed by taxes, that means that we're going to need voter approval if it goes above a certain limit. Let's go here. Here it is. The amount of debt that a municipal government security may incur can be limited by state or local statutes to protect taxpayers from excessive taxes. What this means here, it's going to go onto the ballot, and the voters are going to decide to either do yes or no. If they put no, that project is not going to happen. Bye-bye. Let's see. For what? Let's keep on going. So right here we have revenue bonds. So revenue bonds are going to be these different types of facilities: utilities, housing, transportation, education, health. And these people are going to get that income back by the power to pretty much sell goods and services, products, and that kind of stuff. Revenue, income. Okay. Let's keep going. Now, this right here talks about short-term municipal obligations, anticipation bonds. Now, when I first look at this, is the way I'm looking at here is that I'm expecting something to get approved in the future for my project to keep on, for my project to go on the way. So while that bond or whatever it is going to get approved, I'm going to use this type of fund here to work on that project until that bond gets approved. That's all that means here. And then, yes, you're going to have to memorize these right here. Especially this one here, the one that says trans. All right. All right, now here talks an investor considering the purchase of a tax-exempt bond should compare its yield carefully with that of taxable securities. So anytime when you look at municipal bonds, these are pretty much tax-free. Any income that you get from it, you won't get taxed on it. You won't. Okay. Let's keep on going. So here we have treasuries. So for treasuries, we're going to have your T-bills, T-notes, and T-bonds. Okay, and then right here, once again, these right here are going to be backed by the good faith and credit of the U.S. government and their ability to tax. All right, and then for these kind of securities, they're going to be T+1, so trade plus 1 day. Okay, perfect. So for T-bills, you're going to have to memorize these maturity dates. And then number one here with T-bills, they're going to be less than 1 year. And they're only going to be issued in these certain maturity dates: 4 weeks, 13 weeks, 26 weeks, and 2 weeks. So memorize that. If they give you a different number on the exam, like T-bills or whatever, and they say right here 12 weeks, and like which one's correct, except you're going to put the one that's 12 weeks. That's wrong. It should be 13. Okay. And let's skip that right here. I'm gonna skip down to a little chart. Okay, so this chart is all you gotta know for T-bills, T-notes, T-bonds. You gotta know the maturities, you gotta know the pricing, you gotta know the form, and these all for T-bills, T notes, T bonds, they're all going to be entered in book entry. Now, the only one that doesn't offer accrued interest is going to be the one that's T bills. T notes and T bonds are going to give accrued interest based off the actual days elapsed. Okay. Now, right here, we have treasury receipts and treasury strips. So treasury receipts, let me just get my pen. Brokerage firms can create a type of bond known as a treasury receipt. So right here, treasury receipts, these right here are going to be created by brokers. They're literally gonna break the bond into pieces. That's gonna allow them to get more money out of it. Okay, because they do that, it pretty much doesn't really have like a warranty. Right here, let's read it. So they buy the treasury securities, they place them in trust at a bank and sell separate receipts against the principal and coupon payments. The separating of the coupon interest payment from the principal creates a new security and provides investors with several maturities to choose from. The stripping process also yields more profit for the broker-dealers. Although the treasury security held in trust collateralized the treasury receipts, the receipts are not backed by the good faith and credit of the U.S. government. Okay? So like pretty much here for treasury receipts, it's going to be created by brokers. They're going to separate it to get more money out of it. Now, when that happens, it's not going to be backed by anything. It's going to be unsecured. Okay, now here with treasury strips, this is pretty much done by the Treasury Department of the U.S. Okay, so for treasury strips, just memorize that treasury strips tied to Treasury Department. Has its own version of receipts known as treasury strips. The Treasury Department designates certain issues as suitable for stripping into interest and principal components. Banks and broker-dealers perform the actual separation of the interest coupon and principal and trade of the strips. Both Treasury securities and strips have zero coupon bonds. So what does that mean? So once again, what is zero coupon bonds?
They don't pay interest.
There is no interest.
Until the end, right? That's when they pay back at the end.
Right.
All right, let's keep going. All right, so here we have Treasury inflation protected securities tips. So tips are a special type of treasury security. They are issued with maturities of 5, 10, and 20. So this definitely memorize those maturity dates. You never know. It could show up on the exam. It's an easy question you can easily pass. All right, they are fixed coupon rate and pay interest every 6 months. Okay, and they have maturity. They have a par value of $1,000 or less. Not less than $1,000. All right, so here, T-bills may be issued with all the following maturities except, which one is it? Which one?
C as in cow.
Yep. Cool, cool. And then 2, a newly issued treasury security that matures in 5 years. So you got to memorize the maturity dates.
B.
Oh, B, T-note.
T-note. All right, cool. All right, and then 3. All the following securities are issued by the U.S. Treasury except
A.
Yep, because treasury receipts are done by who?
FINRA, I think.
My broker.
Yep, there you go.
Mm.
So it should be A. There it is. So C, B, A. And then I'll be honest, for like lesson 2.6 about the different agencies, I wouldn't worry too much about this. Just kind of know what it is. Because end of the day, this right here talks more about like mortgages, home loans, that kind of stuff. So it's not really relevant towards our industry. But obviously go over it. I still don't know why they freaking has an exam, to be honest.
It's one of the most annoying questions on there.
It's literally irrelevant. Okay. All right, so here we have money market securities. Money market accounts are pretty simple. They're debt securities. They get like a certain interest rate. They're more for short term. And then here you have certificate deposits. So certificate deposits are going to be backed by the banks. And they're going to give you a certain amount of interest back. Okay. Okay, so right here you have banker acceptance and commercial paper. They're very, very similar, and it's very important that you guys do not confuse them from the two, okay? Because they'll definitely put those two different concepts on the exam. So memorize the difference between the two. Okay. So a banker's acceptance is a short-term time draft with a specified payment date drawn on a bank. So it has a maturity of 1 to 270 days, 9 months. So if it has less than 9 months, it could be either a banker acceptance or commercial paper. It really depends on who creates it. So if they say bank, you're going to think banker acceptance. All right, here we have commercial paper. It could be also said prime paper, promissory note. It's going to be issued by corporations, and it's going to be unsecured. Maturity date of 1 to 270 days, 9 months. And here you got U.S. Treasury bills. Memorize the maturity dates one more time. Oh, here we go. Repurchase agreement, repos. So for repos, let's say that I have 1,000 shares of Tesla and I do not want to sell them. So I'm going to contract a company. I'm going to sell it to that company at a premium. Okay, and then they're going to give me money for those stocks. Okay, and later on, I am going to buy it back at a higher price. That's it. That's all repo does. We're going to buy it back. So here it is. So there's a bank, broker-dealer, raise cash by temporarily selling some other assets it holds with an agreement to buy back the assets at a later date at a slightly higher price. Okay. Very simple. All right, so here is calling about the federal fund loans. So this right here, you're definitely gonna have to memorize these different types of loans, and it'll definitely come up on the exam. Okay, and then right here we have collateralized mortgage obligations. So they're assets backed by security. Okay, that's pretty easy. This section's here easy too. All right, cool. We're good there. Let's do a quick little quiz. Are you guys staying on your own?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, it's under, I think, steps to licensing, opening. Oh, it doesn't give me the easy way. It's this one. There's. All right. Let's go quiz bank home. Let's go custom quiz. Unit 2. Let's do 20 questions. All right, cool. So an investor holds a 5% bond. Okay, so it's callable. It's callable in 6 years and matures in 8 years, so 5 and 8. The bond's current yield measures its annual coupon payment relative to. So this right here, you're kind of, if it was me, the way I would look at it is I would draw a little fulcrum, the coupon. Okay, and then you gotta draw the different lines. Okay. So you're gonna see this 5%.
Wouldn't it be C?
Say again?
Wouldn't it be C?
C,
I'll go with B.
B. I think it's B. As in boy,
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
I was saying it was the current yield measures to its annual coupon bond. I thought it was meaning it was equal to the current yield meant it was equal to the coupon.
Yep. These are here that you get to memorize them. All right, clear this out. Money market instruments guaranteed by a bank that are used to provide capital for international trade are called
A.
this one.
Yep.
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Money market
B and D don't make
instruments.
sense. And
B. American deposit receipts is completely different.
yeah, but it was saying that for international trade.
Yeah, but it's a
Wouldn't that be-
bank.
Oh.
So you gotta look at banker acceptance. So American deposit receipts, it's used for like individual investors. All right, company's board of directors approve a dividend payment. When this occurs, it is recognized as the remember it's gonna be the declaration date, the ex-dividend date, then the record date, and then I think it's called disbursement. Is it? I think it is.
It's
It's
declaration at
payable.
payable. No, actually, no.
Payable. All right, cool. So if anything, it'll be C.
Declaration date.
Yeah.
You guys agree? You guys think it's C?
I think it's C.
There it is. All right, investor owns a bond with a 3.5% nominal yield, making semi-annual interest payments. On each interest payable date, the investor can expect to receive how much? So now right here, I am going to assume that this bond is selling at $1,000. Okay, so what's going to be 3.5% of that?
What did it be?
Huh?
Wait, is it asking yearly or semi-annual?
Let's see, on each interest payment payable date, the investor can expect to receive. Well, I would assume semi-annually, because that's what bonds are issued. says here on each interest payable date. So I'm gonna say semi-annually.
All right.
$17.50.
All right, cool. Let's put that one. There it is. All right, customer buys a 10% bond with a current yield of 12% and holds the bond until 1 year before maturity. The bond is sold when current interest rate are 8%. Okay, which of the following statements are correct? All right, so the customer buys a 10% bond with the current yield of 12%.
2 and 3. The bond was purchased at a discount and was sold at a premium.
D.
See?
Oh,
No, C.
So it's gonna be 2 and 3. So the bond was purchased at a discount. Remember, that makes sense here. It was he buys it at 10% and the current yield is 12%. So it's up. Discount.
sold when current
Okay.
interest is 8%.
The bond is sold when the current interest rates are 8%.
Isn't that still a discount from 12%?
Yeah, but here it talks about interest rates are 8%, right?
Oh. Okay, I didn't read that right.
Okay, so now the bond was sold at a premium. Here it is. When the current yield 12% is higher than the coupon, it's at a discount. Because the question tells us that the current interest rates are now 8%, the bond maturing with a year of a 10% coupon would now be able to be sold at a premium. Which of the following regarding treasury strips, receipts, bills, notes, and bonds is true? Is D correct?
No. You would think so, but it
Yes.
weren't strips not considered? They weren't considered.
Right here it
backed up
says
with the-
treasury strips.
Right.
What about receipts?
Receipts are.
Bills, notes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Because they're all not C. They're not sold at a discount. It's just bills that are sold at a discount.
So what do you think it is? D?
I thought it was A.
A? There it is, A.
Mm.
All right, perfect. Being secured by no physical asset and backed only by a bank's good faith and credit, a bank promises to pay principal and interest can be evidence of which of the following securities that are traded in secondary market.
C. Negotiable CDs.
I would say so. Commercials like for corporations. And then notes and bonds completely different, and it doesn't look like CDs. There it is. All right, an investor holding T bonds will receive interest payments.
Semi-annually.
There it is. Secured corporate debt includes probably guess probably A. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
A.
All right, municipal revenue bonds do not require voter approval. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's correct. How about number 2?
Then general obligations. Signature.
How about two? How about three? That true?
Mm, I don't think so. That's true.
It's true.
Oh, it's true.
Yep. This only applies to general obligation bonds
Oh,
because they require voter approval.
oh,
And this right here is not true for property taxes. Bank, that'll probably be this right here.
So shouldn't it be 2 and 3, not 1 and 3?
It should be 1 and 3. You don't think it's 1 and
Okay.
3?
Oh wait, you're right. Never mind. I was reading that wrong.
So
1
1
and
and
3.
3. There it is. These fools are going crazy on the group chat. All I saw is Dane. What the hell are they talking about? Oh, just gracing them. All right. All right. Investor purchases a bond offered at par. The bond has a coupon rate.
Equal to par. Or equal to its current yield.
There it is. So when in doubt, you can always draw that triangle. T notes are the U.S. government's short-term debt of 1 year or less. What do you think it is?
B.
D as in dog?
B. No, B as in bed.
There it is. This one just gotta memorize the dates for the term. For a corporate bond, once issued, nominal yield
B does not change in response to interest rate movements.
there it is. In the event that a liquidation needs to occur, subordinate debt holders. Doesn't sound right. And then B sounds okay. And C agrees to be paid back after all shareholders. That sounds wrong, right? And then D will be paid back before all senior debt holders. That's wrong, right? So you guys think it's B?
Subordinate holders.
You think it's B as in boy?
Yeah.
You're in the. Oh, never mind.
All right. Municipality wants to issue general obligation bonds that will put it over its statutory debt limits. Which of the following is true? They may do so with the approval of their state senators. That's not true. They may do so with voter approval. That sounds right. This is prohibited by the federal government. Nope, that's false. And then D's wrong. So I think it's B.
B.
All right. An issuer has a subordinate debt issue outstanding. A subordinate debenture has a claim that is senior to all their debt. That's wrong, right? Secondary. So let me get my pen. Let's cross it out. All right. A subordinate debenture has a claim that is senior to all other debt and senior to common stock.
No.
That's wrong, right? All right. And then C, a subordinate debenture has a claim that is junior to all their debt, but senior to preferred stock. That sounds right.
Yeah.
A subordinate debenture has a claim that is junior to all other debt issues. You think it's C or D?
I would say C.
C. All right. There it is. Let's clear this out. All the following projects would be funded by general obligation bonds. Which of the following projects will be funded by general obligation bonds? So general obligation bonds, you want to think about roads, schools and that kind of stuff. So airports, more than likely, let's go right here. So how do airports make money?
Providing of
The
a
plane
service.
tickets,
They have plane tickets, revenue.
they charge, okay, that's,
So it's not gonna be this. It's not gonna be A. B, public schools. More than likely, this one here it relies on taxes.
yeah,
Sports stadiums. How do they get money?
tickets, so revenue as well,
Revenue. Public housing,
revenue as well.
Mortgage. Yeah.
revenue.
So it's
So if
B.
anything, it should be B. There it is. All right, which of the following statements regarding bond interest is true? Bond prices have an inverse relationship to interest rates. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, cool. And then bond prices has that's wrong. The par value of a bond will increase as market interest rates fall.
that's wrong.
The par value of a bond will decrease as market interest rates fall.
No, that's incorrect too.
All right, let's put A then. All right, a balloon maturity. So we're expecting a big payment at the end for balloon maturities. Okay, so a balloon maturity for an issuer debt security is most accurately described as. I'm gonna clear these out. And A doesn't sound right, right?
No.
That's wrong.
B, bonds comprising of all of a particular issue that come due in a single maturity.
Hmm.
So
That's
for this
fair.
question here, I'm looking for something with serial and term in the wording.
So it's not B.
Let's say C.
C sounds okay. A serial issue of bonds on which the interest rate periodically changes over time with the issue. Let's say C. There it is. Let's get the pen here. An issuer of bonds can be. That sounds. Yep, it can be corporate, both federal and municipal government, corporates and municipal governments only, corporate entities only.
Let's go with B.
A.
B as in boy. You don't think it's A?
I think it's A.
All right, you guys. Who thinks it's A?
I do.
All right. Anybody think it's B?
I do.
All right, we'll go 50-50. I think it's A. These remember, bonds can be done by corporations. It can be done by federal and municipal governments. Not bad. 85. All right, guys. Keep on studying the material. For tomorrow, we're covering Unit 3, so be sure to read the book. Okay. Any questions?
No, not at all.
All right. Good night.
Can I
All
think?
right. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
Oscar.
No problem.